Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This Megu Track and Field Hub, talking about track and field, and came across this story on MSN involving Sydney McLaughlin, and the topic is interesting here. It says, disheartened Sydney McLaughlin Levrone recalls almost losing coach Bobby presence, leaving Tokyo Olympics dreams in limbo. The story is by Ankur Roy Chowdhury. You can see there is Sydney. Let's read this story here. It just caught my attention as I was just on the web. Sydney McLaughlin Levrone had an incredible campaign in Tokyo 3 years ago, taking part in her second Olympics after Rio and still recovering from her multiple defeats to Dalilah Muhammad. She had made her mind up to set things right and leave her mark in the biggest competition in the world. Sydney showed signs of being successful in this pursuit right from the Olympic trials, where she broke the world record with a time of 51.90 seconds. Suddenly, everyone started considering her as the favorite to win the 400-meter hurdles. She didn't let these people down as she lowered the world record to 51.46 seconds to win her first ever Olympic gold medal. It was a memorable performance for the hurdler. However, while she was in Tokyo, the hurdler was going through an inner turmoil that was eating her up from the inside. None of the spectators knew about it at the time. Wow, interesting. Just never know what people are going through. Everything looked great on the outside, but let's continue to read. Sydney McLaughlin Levrone felt lonely at the Tokyo Olympics. Wow. Sometimes people seem to be doing so well. All of us. Sometimes I put on a face too. And somebody say, how you doing, man? You look down. I'm like, nah, I'm all right. But, your tone, the way you respond. But let's read this. Sydney McLaughlin Levrone felt utterly alone during the time of the Tokyo Olympics. In Rio, she had taken her whole family with her, and they had provided her with the strength needed. However, due to strict COVID regulations, they couldn't reach Japan. To make matters worse, Sydney's coach, Bob Kersey, couldn't make it either, as his passport, which he had given for an update, wasn't returned yet. This put her whole trip in tatters, as she was scared of what waited for her. Wow. So Sydney McLaughlin Levrone had to calm herself down at times with her faith in God so that she could compete properly. In her book, Far Beyond Goal, Running from Fear to Faith, she said, I had to constantly remind myself that even though my family and possibly my coach couldn't come with me, I wouldn't be alone in Tokyo. The same God who had carried me around the track in Eugene would be with me every step of the way. I'd qualified. It was clearly his plan for me to at least be on the team to make the 14-hour plane ride and represent my country. She attempted to offer herself some relief, as that which would happen next would then become God's plan. Wow, deep story so far. She's a woman strong in her faith. But deep inside, she was struggling. Not having a support group or even a coach present during the Olympics is a position no athlete wants to experience. Praying became the only thing that could at least give her some type of relief at that point and make her a little joyful. She still hoped to have Bob Kersey attend her first heat. Unfortunately, this did not occur, and she had to face it alone. This is where somewhat of a boost came when she finished first, raising her own confidence. It helped her easily make her way into the second heat. This was when Bob Kersey finally got his passport and came straight down to Tokyo. At last, Sydney's loneliness was over, and now she could focus on running with her coach by her side. Bob has been such an important part of Sydney's career that his presence meant too much for the Olympic champion. You see, Bob Kersey was a huge catalyst to Sydney McLaughlin Levrone success in Tokyo. The reason why Bob Kersey's presence was so important to Sydney McLaughlin Levrone is because of the fact that the coach had really helped her a lot in the build-up to the competition. He started showing his importance as soon as he started coaching the hurdler. However, he had some really peculiar methods which would make Sydney McLaughlin Levrone wonder what good they were for. Interesting. So far, good article. According to Sydney, Bobby would start giving her pointless commands when he called her up to the hurdles, and she would not understand what to do. Stand up, wait a minute, go run a lap, jog to the first turn, then come back. At that point, she thought, what is he doing? He sounds spastic. She quoted in her book. The fact that he would give no explanation to these commands would make things even weirder. But the coach had a plan in his head. He wanted Sydney McLaughlin Levrone, who was suffering from multiple false starts, to begin flourishing in chaos. This is why he made her do these commands. Therefore, in the end, Bobby's decision helped Sydney much in her career, and this is why he's such an important figure for her. The hurdler owes a lot for her success to him. Interesting. So he helped her navigate through chaos, overcoming obstacles that would sometimes cause a person with great talent and potential to lose. Could be the best athlete, and because you don't have a good focus, you don't know to pull yourself together, even if you don't have everything and the support that you want around you, that you're used to having around you, and learn how to find inner strength and overcome. And a lot of us don't know that. And that's part of I think the sports psychology aspect to athletics, especially in track and field, where it's mostly an individual sport. And sometimes things happen unexpected and you're not prepared for it, depending on the coaching. Because some coaches everything is just routine as what is expected. You know, you plan for the preseason, you do your conditioning work, your strength training, you work on techniques and different phases of your training program. But you don't know how to deal with the chaos and different circumstances, weather condition, you know, where things are just not right, and the coach don't help you to overcome that obstacles and to maintain your composure and overcome these obstacles. And you can tell when you see Sydney on the track, she just look ready to go. But there's a lot of things going on in her mind. Some athletes are showboats. You know, they try to use their own psychology, and really they're scared inside, or they're just anxious and ready to go for some of them. But because they don't know how the outcome is going to be, they tell themselves, I'm ready. And some just question themselves because the climate change, your support base is not there. You weren't able to get that massage from your massage therapist that you normally have. Or your coach is not there to give you that last minute advice, to get your focus in the right direction. And now you got to think for yourself. Because a lot of times the coach is doing all the plan for you and you're just executing. That's all you're doing. Executing the plan that somebody else laid out for you. But you don't have your own plan, like, what if? How should I handle this? For her, she turned to her spirituality. And not everybody, is strong in spirituality, I guess. Some people just roll with the punches and whatever happens, happens. And for her, it was her spirituality, her belief in God. To, basically, like, if it's meant for her, God will make it happen. And she went and kept her faith and just did what she had to do. At least she was trained that, well, you got to still go out there and execute. And she went out there and execute, win her heat. Her coach was finally able to make it and add back, even though it looked like he was the only one that was able to, make it out. It sounded like her husband still wasn't able to make it. And during the COVID time, a lot of people was going through a lot of psychological, challenges. So it was tough, But this woman, though, whether she realizes it or not, she had that fire in her, man. She's always ready to go in the end. When you see her on the track, no matter what turmoil she has going on, or challenges, it's not so much turmoil, but challenges. And it shows that she's human like anybody else. But when it came down to it, she got out there because of the fighter she is, and she did she did her job and got it done. But it make you wonder, if the coach didn't turn up, would she still have run as well? Or just the fact that he was able to make it there basically at the last minute, that pulled her together. She probably would have still ran well, but maybe possibly not win gold, set world records, who knows. Sometimes you have to train yourself that no matter what, you're going to go out there and get it done, no matter what or who's around you. You've worked hard for the moment. You've been through the thick and thin of it. You've worked through the weather, the rain, the snow, the blood, sweat, and tears that you put into it, overcoming injuries, you name it. And you're finally there, thankfully injury-free, and ready to go at that moment. And you got to tell yourself, I'm in this by myself. I'm going to make it happen. I was prepared for it. I still think she would have won. But, it makes you wonder, if that, when her coach showed up, if that really pushed her, into building back up her confidence. But the bottom line is, all athletes are human beings. No matter how good you see them perform, there's always that, the human side. That, you train hard for something, you're beating everybody, but you still have that, I need my support around me, And just think about how many athletes don't make it because they don't have that support. Or a good coach that knows how to prepare you for the different challenges of life and on the track and outside of track and with any sport. And the ones who can manage that the best, not just the physical but the mental aspect of being involved as an athlete in any sport, especially track and field where it's an individual sport. Any coach that can't help you manage that is not going to have a very successful results as far as the athlete is concerned. And you see it with many athletes. Only a few athletes make it successfully, consistently, that are in the top 10. Some athletes might be ranked in, number one day and then drop all the way to number 20. They can't maintain it, But this lady has gone out and broke world record after world record. And some believe she can still break the world record. She's one of them exceptional athletes like a Usain Bolt. Like, I don't think anyone is going to touch that 958 for a long time. Or the 1919. The closest was Johan Blake. So Sydney's that kind of athlete. And if she step it up in the 400 meters, she might be the first one in the flat 4 to run 47. If she don't wait too long to step up to the challenge, because the older they get, the harder it gets. Track and field training is very tough on the body. But this is a perfect example of overcoming inner struggles. And Sydney McLaughlin showed that, and she talked about it. And Bobby Kersey, is a coach that helped her deal with the different situations that she was able to come out there and get it done. And that's a sign of a good coach too. The man been in the game for a long time and he's had some great success with her. Now he has, I think, who has to overcome some challenges. She got knocked out of the Olympics, team trials for the USA, and now she is going to have to overcome something. I think she has a lot of potential, and she can start back coming 2025 by coming back strong in the World Championships in Tokyo. But anyway, I just wanted to bring this and share this article with you guys. That's my new channel, Track and Field Hub. Excuse me. I changed it from Greg M Life on the Go. I had it named like that because I was just like, I want to be able to talk about anything outside the track. That's why I had it. But I wasn't doing too much life on the go. I was mostly just in one place, you know. I do a lot of stuff from home and just do these things for the fun of it and to share when things come to my mind or I see something interesting to talk about and to contribute to track and field. But hopefully you guys like what I'm bringing to you. Like, share, subscribe if you like what I'm doing, and just help me out in the YouTube universe to pump my channel up. Not monetize or anything like that. You know, my channel is probably boring to a lot of people, but I'll continue because I love track and field, love sports. But track and field, I think track and field doesn't get the recognition it deserves still, and I am going to continue promoting track and field and talking about the athletes that are out there doing it up. You know, the great and the not so great ones. All right, so anyway, that's it for now. Until next time.